The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Do the Canucks need Erik Brannstrom to play NHL games like he's been doing for most of his career this season? Maybe. Maybe. Is Patrick Allvin smarter than your dad? Hell yes.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs. Whoa! Co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer since 2013, currently with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks. You know why? Because it is your Canucks every damn day. We're part of that Locked On Podcast Network. They're doing the most for sports fans across the world. And for our show, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe and like this video and on YouTube and on the podcast side. Oh, baby, go follow us and leave a 5-star review because we're not here without you, but we're also not here without the sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. The Canucks season is underway and they are without a win. But hey, you can always go watch the Abbotsford Canucks, okay? And one guy down there in particular might be showing that he deserves a look at the NHL level at some point this season. And guess what? The Canucks got him for nothing. Not bad with Patrick Allvin. So let's touch on Erik Brannstrom a little bit, okay? Because not only is this guy off to a good start in Abbotsford, but some of the data shows that this guy might deserve another elongated look at the NHL level. We'll also touch on the Canucks lineup ahead of Tampa Bay tonight. A little Arshdeep Bains preview, okay? This is Surrey's Canucks show, baby. All that and more coming up. Also, a former Canuck got a shout-out from the Tampa Bay Lightning captain. We'll get into that as well. That's all coming up. Before we do that, let me introduce my co-host, Kyle. How you doing, bud?
Wait, a former Canuck got a shout-out by the Tampa Bay captain?
Yeah.
Oh, Alex Edler. Guaranteed,
Nope.
right? Hedman to Edler? What?
Nope.
Okay, anyways. We'll talk more about that later, okay? Today, we have to talk about Branstrom. Erik Brannstrom. Someone that didn't sound so exciting off the riff. Now, your assumptions could make it sound good, but when you listen to Patrick Allvin's reasonings on why he got Brannstrom, it sounded as if he was just like a throw-in. Like the Canucks didn't really even want him. Like they had the chance to sign him in the offseason. They didn't really want to do their homework because their decision was made. You know what I'm saying? But right now, based on the highlights, based on the mixtape, based on the small sample size, the smallest of sample sizes, okay? And Kyle Bound always works with small things, okay? So Trevor Beggs, sometimes too, okay? We like working with the small things. And right now we're looking at this and man, oh man, this guy looks exciting, man. He really does. And if I'm Vincent Desharnais or Noel Juleson or Forbert, I'm paying attention, man. I'm paying attention because this dude looks different. Now, is he a Taka type of player? I don't know. You know, what I'm seeing in Abbotsford is very, very relatable to what I saw from Daniel Sprong, ironically, in his game in Abbotsford for the Vancouver Canucks in September. It doesn't mean that you'll translate into a Taka type of player because I feel as if there's a standard here. But again, I'm more fascinated than I thought I would ever be based on, again, acquiring another AHL defenseman, quote unquote.
Look, I think there was some intrigue with the trade, right? But it was obviously a cap dump. You know, they got off of Tucker Poolman's salary. They cleared up some cap space, gave them some long-term flexibility as well. And again, him actually playing games for the Vancouver Canucks was definitely the second priority, right? The priority was to clear some cap space. But, you know, they didn't want to just trade for nobody either, right? So they got a guy with intrigue in Erik Brannstrom. And this is a guy who's played 70-plus games in each of the last two NHL seasons. And it's interesting when you start digging into the data a bit and some of the tape on Brannstrom. He actually, and I know everyone's saying that, oh, he's a bust because he's the 15th overall pick and he played on a bad Senators team. He played on a bad blue line. He was part of a bad blue line. But again, you dig into some of the tape and some of the numbers, and this guy might be better than you think, at least better than most Canuck fans think. And one of the things that stood out to me was that if you look at the 6 of the other most played Senators defensemen last season, each and every one of them controlled possession more when they play with Erik Brannstrom. And when there's a sample size like that, it's more than just a coincidence, right? Like, again, looking at every defender here, with Nick Holden, his main partner, His Corsi 4 was almost 10% more, 56 with Nick Holden. Nick Holden was 46 without Brannstrom. Thomas Chabot, he was better with as well, boosted him by about 6% of his Corsi points. Travis Hamonic, he absolutely propped that guy up. It was 60+% controlling possession with Hamonic on the ice, only 50 when Hamonic was on the ice, though, Brannstrom. And it goes on and on. Same with Sanderson, same with Chicher, and same with Artem Zub. Every single Senators defenseman last year controlled possession more with Brannstrom on the ice. And again, not the biggest guy in the world, but you can see the puck possession skills in both the tape and for what he's done in Abbotsford this season. And there was a viral clip from about a year ago where he went end-to-end and scored against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who the Canucks are, of course, playing tonight, by the way. But so far, again, 3 assists in 2 games for Brannstrom. He's pulled some of those similar moves with Abbotsford that he's done with Ottawa in the past, just skating the puck up the ice with ease. And again, what you want for this guy to do is to play so well in Abbotsford that he forces the Canucks into a decision. And again, so far for Erik Brannstrom, he's off to a pretty damn good start.
Yeah, man. And maybe him getting waived was the message he needed. Sometimes the truth hurts, but the truth also sets you free. It's like, it's like when you last in bed for 20 seconds, for like 6-7 weeks in a row, and you're just getting away with it. And then one day after your session, or like the minute after your session, your girl's just like, yo, like, what's been going on? Little reality check. You know what I'm saying? Again, 31 and a half years old. I lived a long life. But where am I going with this? Yeah, the reality check. Maybe he needed one, okay? Straight up. And, the fact that he played so many games for the Senators over the last couple of years and then wasn't re-signed by them, was a late signing for Colorado, a good team. Then they dump him for a 4th round pick pretty much. And then the Canucks waive him right away. You play on these good teams, or you are acquired by these good teams, and they don't even care about you. I feel as if maybe there's a chance that over the last 4 or 5 months, after being an NHLer, and not one that lived up to his potential, but just an NHLer nonetheless, right? That private jet life. And maybe what's happened over the last couple months is a humbling experience for him, and ultimately a learning curve for him that he needs to climb. And I wonder if that's the case, and because of it, there's a player here that, again, there once was, but a couple of weeks ago, we barely give an ish that this guy's acquired by the Canucks. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I obviously hear the cachet, but as a Canucks fan, you acquire Sven Berchi, you acquire Curtis Lazar. You just like think about the best case scenarios for guys like this who didn't live up to their potential. But maybe, like I said, there's something there, man. There's something there, and drawing it back to the whole DRNA thing, the Forberg thing, the Juleson thing. It's a thing. Straight up, it's not a thing. It's a thing. Like Canucks fans, we're hyped up about the season. The standard is high. The dreams are even higher, right? The bar is so high, and we need to come to terms that, bro, 2 of our 6 defensemen every night were healthy scratches last year. Facts.
Yeah, Forber and Desharnais. Again, the lack of puck moving skills was more evident in the first game against Calgary. Obviously, Desharnais didn't play the second game. No, Juleson played better than Desharnais did. I thought he had a really solid night against the Flyers. And Derek Forbort, after a tough first game against Calgary, kind of showcased some of his puck moving ability. But again, we're talking about tiny sample sizes here. And Forbort, Desharnais, Juleson, who, again, thankfully, Myers is only supposed to be out day to day. But for now, you got 3 guys who are, 6-7 defensemen, more or less, let's be real. And all of them kind of struggle with moving the puck. And that could be a problem with the Vancouver Canucks moving forward. And now with Erik Brannstrom, again, it's a small sample size for what he's done in Abbotsford, but for his overall body of work, the guy's always been a strong puck mover. Look at his last full AHL season, okay? The last time he really had a long stint in the AHL, because he's literally only played 15 AHL games now, including this year, since in the last 5 years. He's been an NHLer. But in 2019-20, before he earned a full-time recall to Ottawa, the dude had 23 points in 27 games as a 20-year-old defenseman in the AHL. Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of numbers that usually indicate top 4 defensemen. And again, I think kudos to Alvin and the Canucks. They know how to motivate a guy. They didn't have him stick around in training camp and try to win a job last minute. They sent him straight to Abbotsford and let the guy prove that he deserves a shot in the NHL. And again, so far, so good for Erik Brannstrom.
Yeah. And even on that note, with all that being said, I still feel as if, and I remember saying this the day we required him. I think we did an episode that day, and I remember saying that maybe Branstrom, he enjoys being a member of the organization, and Manny Malhotra and company, Henrik and Daniel, I know they speak the same language. I know they didn't play the same position, but all in all, like, there's some communication there. There's some relatability, and it fosters a good relationship. And at the end of the season, Brannstrom's like, you know what? I want to stick with this organization. This is where I get better. And in September of 2025, he impresses Tocchet because now he's been with the Canucks system for 12 months, and he kind of understands that there's a different level, not to only play on good teams. And the Canucks have only been a good team for 15 seconds. But again, there's a standard here in Vancouver that you have to reach. And a lot of that does tap into not being a dumbass with the puck. You know what I'm saying? Like, not turning it over. The leash is small when it's apparent that you're a risk taker that F's up at least once or twice a game. Like, you have to keep it clean more often than not here in Vancouver, especially with the puck. And for a puck mover like Brannstrom, yeah, I feel as if there's not enough trust and I guess partnership there right now for Brannstrom to fix the Canucks this season. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, or help the Canucks this season. I see a lot of people, maybe the Canucks need them. The Canucks they need a player like this. So we're kind of talking about that today, but I think there's like a 0% chance that happens this season. No?
I think it's definitely above zero, but
Ooh,
I think
okay.
it's more likely to happen if there's an injury or if the defense really struggles, and those are definitely above zero odds. Look, Forbort, he was healthy scratch for a bit, but he did miss a chunk of last season with injury. Susie missed a lot of time last season with injury, right? Those are your next two guys on the left side after Quinn Hughes. If one of those guys goes down, I'm positive that Eric Brannstrom's going to be the next guy up in the call line, especially if he keeps playing like he's doing right now in Abbotsford. But hopefully Forbort and Susie can have some good health. I mean, Forbort, again, chugging the Pepto-Bismol on the bench. Maybe he's not 100%, but he was looking good in Philly. And, again, let's see what these guys can do. But keep an eye on Eric Brannstrom because this might be a steal of a trade by Patrick Allvin if Brannstrom can turn into something. And I think there's a chance he will.
It would just be so surprising for this team to go to prioritizing spending their money on Myers, Forbort, Desharnais, and then reverting to a different strategy halfway through the season, or like a third through the season, and that's centering around like bringing up Brannstrom. Like, again, I'd be interested, to see how it looks. I just would be so surprised, so surprised. It'd be cool though, because this guy just, again, Trevor, you know what it is? It's early on in the season, and people are paying a lot of money for tickets, and let's have some fun out there. Straight up, this guy looks like a fun player, and the Canucks, man. Look at us, man. Arshdeep Bains on the top line, and let's call up Eric Brannstrom to save the day. Yo, I don't know if we pressed the panic button, but we need a life, okay?
Oh, man, all over the place here on Locked On Canucks. Maybe this fan base is just all over the place, right? Like you said, top line Bains, get Brannstrom in the top four. This team's winning the Stanley Cup, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff. Let's we'll stick to the short term for now a bit more, though. Coming up on the other side, some news and notes about your Canucks, some injury news, some Abbotsford news, and of course, previewing the road trip and talking a bit about the lineup and the goaltending situation. All that and more coming up, so stick around. But before we get to all of that, let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel. All right, you know the deal, baby. NFL fans, NHL fans, make sure you start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet at FanDuel.com, okay? And for tonight's game, if you think the Canucks can do it and pull out their first win of the season, they are underdogs in the money line against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are playing their second game of the season after they had a game postponed over the weekend due to Hurricane Milton. One love to the people of Tampa Bay, but if you're thinking one love to the Canucks getting the dub tonight, they are underdogs on the money line. Again, if you're going to place those bets, make sure you do so on FanDuel.com.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs, the second best dad in the world. And I got to ask you, man, I'm assuming you did most of the cooking, right? It's 2024. And I'm assuming you did a good job, man. Tell me about the Thanksgiving dinner that you cooked up your family. Rated out of 10. Be honest, okay?
I'll probably give it like an 8, right? I don't think I'm an all-star cook, but I get the job done for sure, you know? I made this roasted beet salad. I forgot to put an ingredient or two in that, but, overall, I got the turkey, got the stuffing. I got a couple of Muzzy buddies, so I made, like, the halal chicken as well,
Oh, okay.
separately.
Okay.
So I had it all going on, man. So a little stuffed halal chicken, stuffed turkey. The cream of corn was definitely the whitest dish of all time. None of my Muzzy friends had ever heard of that before. But it was a good time. And yes, I did do all the cooking. Thank you very much.
You're the man, dude. Come on, man. It is what it is. The man of the house. What? Are you allowed to say that this time around in 2024? I'm confused, man. I'm confused. But hey, shout out to friendship. Shout out to Friendsgiving. Okay, Begsy, man. You showed me what that is, and friendship, man. It's a beautiful thing. Speaking of a beautiful thing, the Canucks again back in action in Florida. Beautiful times there. And Begsy, man, you keep talking about like this bromance that was needed with the team, right? You're on the road, and this is a good time for them to get together. A lot of new faces, and is the outcome of all that giving us the best Canucks game of the season, this short season against a really good Tampa team? So, yeah, you think we're gonna see what we were promised today?
I think they might need a little bit more time to bond on the road, to be honest, right? After Thanksgiving, right? You don't get a lot of time there. I think later on the road trip, maybe there'll be some good bonding going on. But look, I don't want to say it's time to hit the panic button, but I think there should be a little bit of extra stress in that dressing room right now. But again, they were a bounce away from being 3-4. They're a shootout goal away from being not 3-4, but 3 of possible 4 points so far. So, again, you want to get the win here, and it's interesting to see this coaching staff making pretty quick lineup decisions, right? There's not a lot of messing around here. And, on the defense, it's obviously par for the course with Myers' injury. But now we're hearing that Arshdeep Bains might be on the top line, according to Dan Murphy. That's what most other people are seeing right now. They're talking about that on the radio. It's interesting, though, right? Because you read Ian McIntyre's piece for practice yesterday. And he said that on the top line, it was Höglander skating with Besser and Miller. Heinen and DeBrusk on the second line with Petey. And that Bains was actually one of the extra forwards. So I'm kind of curious what's going on. It's a little harder now that these media conglomerates don't send as many guys on the road. But I would like to see RC Bains on the top line, man. Come on, this is the Series Canucks show, man. And for Arshdeep, I think last season when he got his NHL debut, we're all excited. I think he was playing a little nervous, to be honest with you. Maybe trying to do a bit too much, pulling the Daniel Sprong, I think, in some scenarios, maybe overskating and losing guys and losing their position. But it would be something else if the Surrey's representation on the Canucks could kickstart the team to their first win of the season.
Yeah, man, it would be telling. And I know there's a lot of I wouldn't say concern, but pessimism of what Bains could bring to the top 6. I mean, like, there's the whole, okay, this guy got cut, now he's a top line when you're in game 3, like, what's going on? And also the fact that he had this opportunity last season as well. And I'm not talking about just having games played. I'm talking about having those games played with JT Miller. There was multiple periods and multiple shifts where that happened and not much happened. That being said, we're talking about Arshdeep Bains, not just a kid from Surrey, but a dude that's been very resilient his whole hockey career and has gotten better time in and time out, and apparently takes advice really, really well and gets better and better and better at every opportunity he gets. And I wonder if this is a moment where he doesn't let go. Like, he takes advantage of it. And I want to ask you, Begsy, like, how does that happen? What do you want to see from Bains that you haven't seen yet that makes him, again, impossible to demote or send down? Because I think at his best, and Tocchet sees this as well, there's somewhat of a complete player, but also more notably a player that has pure offensive skill, pure playmaking skill. Like, there's something there. So yeah, well, what do you want to see from Bains this time around?
I think it's kind of twofold depending on where he plays. If he does play with Miller and Besser, I think the best course of action for him is just to spark that line, because they've looked discombobulated. They've looked out of place for the last couple of games here, or for the first couple of games to start the season. So for Arshdeep Bains, it just means getting the biscuit down low and helping set up those guys for some offensive opportunities. If he ends up playing lower down in the lineup, I think the goal for him would have like a Nils Höglander effect from last season, where you stick him on the fourth line. He might not play a ton, but when he's on the ice, let him showcase that creativity, and hopefully he can set up some teammates as well for offensive opportunities. And I think
Yeah.
lastly, the staff is watching for this, but the guy has to be in place defensively. And I think, look at the Daniel Sprong goal when the Flyers had the game on Friday, right? It's probably a situation where, I think Sprong has his reputation for being like lazy defensively. I think on that play, what happened was sometimes when you're the winger and you're floating up high covering the defenseman, and the puck's in the far corner, you're thinking like, oh man, I'm really far away from the puck. I should go help out the boys. And I think that's probably what happened on that play. Like he's getting down low to like be in position to help the boys out. But that being said, he loses his guy, right? So again, I don't think Daniel Sprong comes from a bad place defensively in terms of laziness, but for Arshdeep Bains, it's the same thing. Like just make sure you're in position. Don't try to do too much. Do your job. And when you got the puck, showcase some of that razzle dazzle, buddy, because he's got that skill set.
Yeah, man, just play with your instincts, man. Don't overthink it. I think that trial period for Arshdeep Bains to again get into this big moment, make his dreams come true, and I wouldn't say be emotional about it, but those things are going to get in the way. Okay, for real. Out of any Canuck on the roster, like this spot on the team doesn't matter more to anyone else. It's just the truth. There's a lot going on in the mind of Arshdeep Bains, but if he can just this time around not worry about that and just play the game in front of him, not be emotional about it, be instinctful only, I think again the best version of him is available there. And you talked about him being a player that could be used down the lineup as well. I think that opportunity for him is going to be harder to grasp onto this season based on the fact that only injuries, and a lot of injuries, it feels like 2 injuries there will have that, happen for him. Whereas like this mysterious puzzle that's missing in the top 6 before trade is constantly going to be there until this top 6 figures it out. And I wonder again if the best place for him in the lineup and his instincts is in the top 6 surrounded by good players, because there is a level of playmaking there. And it goes back to Tocchet's comments about Bains prior to him being sent down. And there was a glowing review about his offense. Little was said about his defense. And this is after a game where he turned over the puck a couple times against Edmonton. But I think Tocchet just sees something that he needs to see more of, because if Bains is at his best, it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. If he's at his best, maybe the Canucks have another trick up their sleeve. Oh, look at his numbers in recent history wherever he's played. He's amongst the best at putting up points. You never know. You never know.
It's not crazy, bro. If this guy can get the shout out from Connor Bedard for being the best passer in the dub back in the day,
Think
this guy
about
can
that.
bring it for your
And now
Vancouver Canucks.
Now Tocchet, who's such a defensive nerd and like wants everything done his way, is praising this guy after, again, like look at that Edmonton film. Like he wasn't perfect defensively, but he scored a goal and he was tenacious in the offensive zone. He made some play. I just think Tocchet also sees that he could be an addition to this team. Like, dude, it's pretty obvious. At Danton Heinen's best, you're not getting what Arshdeep Bains will give you offensively at his best. That's the truth. There's another layer there.
Ceiling's high with young Arshdeep. Kyle, before we cut to break, got a couple of news and notes on the other side. I want to ask you quickly. We know Artur Shilov's getting the start against Tampa, but on this road trip again, the Canucks play Tampa Tuesday, Florida Thursday, Philadelphia Saturday, and then Chicago to end the road trip next Tuesday. How do you think the Canucks handle their goaltending on this road trip?
Well, Tocchet says Shilov's is starting today, right? I think I saw that. Boom, bam. No, it's up to Shilovs. It's like during the 3 games this week, it's up to Shilovs. If Shilov plays really well this week, then he's getting 2 starts. But if he struggles again today, I think Lankinen gets 2 in a row, no matter what the outcome is, because then they're going to be trying to find momentum. You're talking about the short leash on players, like it's going to be in net too. Now, I'm not surprised though that Shilovs gets to start today. Everyone talks about, do the math. He'd have too many days off in a row. Tocchet touched on that, blah, blah, blah. But I think that this move has more to do with, again, Tocchet not panicking and instilling that culture and leaning on his guys. Artur Shilovs did a lot. He made Rick Tocchet look really good in the playoffs. So Tocchet's sticking with his boys, and I'm not surprised. And I hope we see the best. I'm assuming Vasilevsky's on the other side. This could be a moment for Artur Shilovs.
Could be a moment for him, man. And it's always a moment here on Locked On Canucks with you, buddy. I don't care that the Canucks are winless. I'm stoked for the road trip ahead. Always stoked to be doing the show with you and for the people. Let's cut to break quick. Before we do that, come on, man. On the YouTube side of things, on our today's show itinerary, all we have is the Edmonton Losers logo. And Kyle, he's crafted some shirts. Again, not affiliated with Locked On, but they involve Hayden on the Oilers. So go make sure you check that out in the link in the description of this episode. Again, coming back on the other side with some news and notes. Before we do that, let's shout out our friends. A new sponsor. Oh, baby. It's Hims. You know what, Kyle? Sometimes those moments happen, okay? We want to be ready to perform, okay? You get the music on, Eye of the Tiger. And what happens?
Eye of the Tiger? Why are you playing Eye of the Tiger before? Does that work? Wait, does that work?
The Eye of the Tiger. Sometimes it works, man. But sometimes it doesn't work. And it has nothing to do with the music, okay? And that's why you got to check out Hims, okay? Because sometimes you think you need a little boost in the bedroom. It's time to stop worrying about your performance and get Hims so you can feel confident knowing you can get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood, okay?
Okay.
Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED medications and treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis in their generics for up to 95%.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Mints. So you get the ED medicine also gives you good breath.
It's a win-win, baby.
Yo, who was the creative director at Hims, yo? We need to hire him.
Just, depending on the strength of them, let's just be careful if you're going downstairs on your... Anyways, okay.
Oh.
The thing about Hims you need to know is that there's no insurance needed, and there's one low price that covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. Oh, baby. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compound products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with the healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details on important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Okay. We back. We doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bowen and Trevor Beggs. And we're going to end the show off by, talking about whatever Trevor Beggs wants to talk about and by reading some of these comments, okay? And look at Richard, okay? Richard, sometimes I miss you here, man, because this guy's the voice of reason, okay? This guy's a hardworking man, though. He works through his lunch breaks, okay? Straight up, not to just provide for his family, but provide for his organization. It takes that type of dedication. Anyways, Richard's saying that most viewers don't have that issue, a.k.a. don't have the issue that would have one use Hims, our latest sponsor. And it's like, dude, Richard, I don't know about you, Richard, but me and Trevor are 31 and a half years old. Like, we've lived a long life. And before you assume, you got to understand and be empathized for us. Not everyone lives in your world, Richard. Me and Trevor, we have erectile dysfunction. Okay. Beggsy, take it away.
Yeah, it's sad times, but that's why we got Hims, baby. Okay, so a couple news notes to get to. This Canucks prospect, he doesn't have a broken penis, but he does have a broken clavicle, and that is Anthony Romani, okay? The Canucks drafted the overage player. Ironically, a player during training camp that I kind of compared to Arshdeep Bains in terms of having that elite offensive ability at his level, being a bit of a late bloomer. And again, he was a goal scorer last year in the OHL, 58 goals in 68 games, but a season in the OHL off to not a great start. He broke his clavicle, and he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. So tough go for Anthony Romani. A couple of news and notes on the Abbotsford Canucks now that their season has started. Again, one win, one shootout loss. My ball hockey captain, Aaron Gray, saying, is there any news on why PDG has yet to play in Appy? PDG is apparently out with a minor injury. Another thing on the Abbotsford Canucks right now is they have a bit of a veteran problem. In the AHL, you can actually only dress 6 veterans that have more than 250 games of pro experience. And they dress 6, not including Christian Wolanin and PDG. So that's something to monitor down at Abbotsford as well. Jonathan Lekkerimäki is also yet to play a game because of illness. So again, we haven't seen Jonathan Lekkerimäki make his debut in the AHL yet. Finally, the last piece of news and notes I have in terms of your Vancouver Canucks, Victor Hedman apparently in an interview talking about the captaincy recently mentioned that his inspiration or guy he looked up to, in terms of leadership was none other than Matthias Ohlund. So shout out to the old Vancouver Canuck, former teammate of Hedman's a long, long time ago now. But Hedman said that he learned a lot from Ohlund, who's one of his biggest role models, and a guy he looked up to and talked to apparently when he got the captaincy in Tampa.
Matthias Ohlund, yo. What a guy. One of my favorite players. Again, I talked about it on this show like months and months and months ago. He was, I don't know why, growing up, I gravitated towards him being my favorite player on the team. And we had Naslin, Bertuzzi, you know what I'm saying, Matt Cook. You know what I'm saying? We had Jovanovski. We had faces there, you know? Sometimes you could even throw Dan Kluche in the mix. But Matthias Ohlund was, he just connected, man. I think it was his humble nature and how physical he was too. He was a bit of a POS. I remember there was one game where he like broke Mikko Koivu's ankles or something, or his shin or something. It was a regular season game. We just two-handed the dude while he was a young player from Minnesota. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like this piece of you know? Anyways, Trevor, man, come on. That's the biggest game of the year. Biggest game of the year. And you're out here telling me about an injury to our 12th round pick from last year. Trevor, man, how do the Canucks win tonight? What do they got to do? Because I don't want to go 3 games without winning, okay? For real.
I think the Canucks, I mean, this is a hockey cliche, but they need to play the full 60 minutes. Like, what have we seen in both games so far? In Calgary, they have a good 20 minutes and they go to sleep for 40. In Philly, they have an okay 40 minutes, and then they were not good in the last period against Philly. So I think they needed to bring it home tonight, play a complete game. You know, they got depth through all four forward lines. And something you meant that the coaching staff has mentioned too is that, you know, the 5 preseason games and 7 nights didn't help. You had a lot of guys in and out, not a lot of continuity. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight, but they're going to need this continuity on the road to at least win a couple games, and obviously a couple tough tests to kick it off. They're going to have a hungry Tampa team. Hasn't played in a couple of days with the game postponed, but also has only played 1 game so far this season. So, look, and then the last thing too is the Canucks Stars got to be the Canucks Stars. They'd have them in the Canucks Stars through pretty much since 20 minutes of the first game. I know JT Miller had a pretty good first game, but you know, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson.
Oh, there you go again. Bring it up, Elias Pettersson, man. There you go.
I'm just saying,
none
of them were good against Philly.
There you go.
We're going to need him on the road to win at least 2 games here.
Trevor, man, there you go, man. You can't go one episode without bringing up Elias Pettersson, man. You know what, man? What do you do behind my back, man? Do you talk ish about me, man? Are you stabbing me in the back? What's going on there, man? But yeah, you're totally right, man. Can we see something from Elias Pettersson? Like, can we just see play driving, okay? Straight up. Does this dude have his license? Where am I going with this? I want to see something. Okay? And look at Static Official, okay? The only rapper that's a part of the community, okay? When's the next song coming out? We can preview it here, okay? We'll debut your music video, okay? He's asking us, okay? Are you guys predicting a win tonight? I'm predicting an Elias Pettersson 4-point game in front of Nikita Kucherov. Statement game. All in all, it'd be nice, you know, to see it again, and that's Elias Pettersson carrying this team. Do you think we see it on this road trip? And am I being an asshole right now?
Look, there's definitely a chance with Elias Pettersson that you will see it, right? It's going to come at some point. I'm saying, like, Canuck fans right now, we're probably overreacting a bit in this market, right? I mean, look at the Oilers. McDavid has 1 assist. Matthews has not had a good start. Colorado has not had a good start. Look, it's so early in the season, right? And again, I don't think Pettersson's necessarily been bad in the first couple of games, but he hasn't been a superstar and he hasn't had chemistry with his line mates. But that could change on any given night. And man, oh man, the Canucks could use a win here against Tampa. I'm going to predict that they're going to bump the streak here. Again, every game has gone to overtime so far. Let's say this one also goes to overtime, but the Canucks find a way to win it off with another Elias Pettersson winner, baby. I know you hate when I do that. That's why I did it.
Yeah, I hate it because I'm losing hair. I'm losing hair and you're not. That's what I'm trying to say,
maybe it's just hitting under the hat.
Oh, whoa.
Maybe, man. But the Canucks have not won a road game in Tampa Bay since Elias Pettersson's rookie season. I actually think it was one of his first NHL games. Last time to get a road win against Tampa Bay was on October 11th, 2018, a 4-1 win over Tampa Bay. A lot has happened since then, including Tampa Bay winning 2 Stanley Cups. So Let's predict the Canucks get their first win in Tampa Bay in 6 years tonight.
Tonight, man. Speaking of which, look at this comment from Equalizer 007, whose display picture just shows off an unbelievable fade. Look at that fade, Trevor. Look at that haircut. Probably from fresh fades, if I'm correct. Anyways, Canucks face a pivotal moment in 2024 as they grapple with their identity. Are they rebuilding or poised to compete? Bro, Equalizer 007, man. It's comments like this that make me want to be there for the people. More on that. Hit the link in the bio, okay? Join the Discord, and I'm trying to get a pregame show going to test out my stream in a couple of hours, okay? Canucks questions. What is that? Just go. Let's see if it works. Let's see if this 31-year-old knows how to use the remote. Help me out. 3:30, 3:35. Hit the link in the bio. And just enjoy the game, okay? Let's get the dub. Get the dub. Let's not start 0-3. I don't want no moral victories, Trevor. I know you're a moral victory father. It'll come up participation ribbons. Like, yeah, go ahead. Nice job. No, I'm here to win. I'm here to win, Bagsy, and we need to win tonight.
Well, let's get that win tonight. Bains opens the scoring. Pettersson with the OT winner. That's the dream right there, baby. But whatever happens, we got you covered here on Locked On Canucks, man. Oh, Kyle, come on, bro. It's all good. Dude, you got a lot of hair on your head,
you
man.
got to be honest with the people. You got to be honest with the people. Yeah, I just got a comment from Lloyd G saying, Kyle, your hair is great, bros. And I don't like to... It's not Hollywood, Trevor. I'm not Mr. Hollywood, okay? I like to keep it real with the people. The angles, the webcams, blah, 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 the hair covering, the hairline. Come on. I'm actually balding, and that's why the Canucks need to win the Stanley Cup this year.
There we go. The urgency is on for your Vancouver Canucks. We got you covered for the entire journey here on Locked On Canucks, whether you're an everyday or an occasional listener, a first-time listener, a new subscriber, or you join us on the live show on YouTube. Again, we love each and every one of you, no matter where you're listening or when you're listening. Go Canucks, go, baby. And again, no matter what happens tonight or on this road trip, we got you covered for all your news, notes, rumors, and analysis regarding your Vancouver Canucks. All right. But for now, we got to get out of here. I'm Trevor Beggs. That's Kyle, still with some hair bowing, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Peace, peace, peace.